Okay guys, I got a 1994 Toyota Corolla here. It has the 2.2 in it. A lot of these look like they have rear main seal leaks. If they do, check back behind the valve cover on the back side. Look down there with a light and make sure that you don't see fresh oil. Because if you do, it likes to run right down alongside the back of the engine, down on the oil pan, and trick you into thinking it's a rear main seal. But these valve covers are notorious for leaking. So when you order this valve cover, you have two choices. You can get the valve cover, or you can get the valve cover with the spark plug seals as well. The way to determine whether you need them or not, if you want to replace them both same time, great. But if you're on a little bit of a budget, you can pull a spark plug and look. If they're not saturated with oil right there, you don't necessarily have to change these seals. So let's take a quick peek right back in there. Some is just real dirty, but there are a few spots that has really clean oil. So that tells us that it was leaking right down there below my finger. So let's go ahead and get them pulled off. So the first thing you want to do is, let me get that cleared up. Pull all your spark plug wires. The shortest one will be to the closest side of the distributor, You're not going to mess those up. If you do and you need that firing order, let me know in the description below. I'll put it. So I've already cracked these loose. Well, I thought I did. You're just going to run these out. These are all 1 1/16 of an inch or 30 millimeter. Pull all these out. And then we're going to disconnect this hose right here. Let me get those off and be right back. This job's pretty quick. We're going to have this done before the part even gets here. We ordered it about 3 minutes ago, and they're normally about 5 to 7 minutes with their delivery on parts. So I think we're going to have this off before the part even gets here, just to give you an idea how long that takes. Pretty quick. So he'll get that hose off and then we'll wiggle it out. Now you have this harness here that you may have to manipulate a little bit. Just pull it up out of the way. Probably only about that much is what you need, because we're just going to pivot this up and then out like that. Okay, got that one off. Now move your plug wires out of the way and you'll see this hose here. That looks like it's got a crack, so we'll have to make that repair. But I think we're ready to pull this up out of here. Okay, so I just pulled that back up out of the way. Let's grab hold of that, give it a little wiggle, and there you go. Oh, we'll get those seals. So right here is where she's been leaking, like a sieve, right there on the back side, just like we seen. So let's get our new gasket. We'll pull this one out and get it cleaned out, put the other one in, run everything backwards. Don't forget to lube up these seals just a little bit. They are lubed up, but we're going to clean them and then lube them. I'll show you something real quick. Right down inside here, on top of the valve cover on the cam, see all this buildup right here? Guess what that is? That's a Pennzoil engine. Had Pennzoil put in it. I'm not knocking Pennzoil because it's a very good oil, and most old timers will tell you it's some of the best oil out there. But it's built for high performance, and if this engine is not turning fast enough to keep that oil thin, that's what happens to it. So if you don't have a high performance engine, personally, my opinion, I don't recommend Pennzoil, only because of this exact scenario right here. But if you have a high performance engine, I do like Pennzoil. I just don't put them in these vehicles. So okay, let's get that new valve cover. So here's the old one, nice and stiff, and here's the new one. So now we're just gonna lay it up in there. It's gonna take 2 hands here, but I'm just gonna lay it up in there and it should just snap right into place. So let me get that on, and oh, here we go. It should actually seat down a little bit. There, it did. Now I don't know if you've seen the other gasket, but it was literally flat with the edge. See how this one sticks up a little bit more, so she won't leak. All right, let's get it set back on there and we'll run this process backwards. Okay, so that's our hose that was cracked a little bit. We're just going to take off about 3/4 of an inch because there's plenty of play there, and we'll slide it back on. Then go ahead and lay your sleeves back in there. If you did have to get the new ones, you're just going to lay the valve cover on and then just place them right there. Push them down nice and snug. And then we can run the nuts in on top of those. There we go. Now we'll run these down and seat them down. When tightening these, you're going to use the same method you'd use on a transmission pan. You're going to hold the wrench just like this, the ratchet. And you're going to snug it up with one hand as tight as you can. Now this takes 1 1/16. I'm using 1 1/4 because I grabbed it first. So it's a little loose, but just like that, tight, 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 tight. As tight as I can get it with one hand. That's how tight you go. And you can actually see the threads lifted up out of there just a hair. So let's tighten them all the same way. Okay, when I tighten these, I like to go these two inside ones first, then outside and outside. So I'm kind of spreading the pan, if that makes sense. And then always double check. After you snug those and tighten those, bring these two back down again, because the pressure of the outside ones will keep these loose. If you don't double check them, you're going to end up having a leak. So let's go ahead and throw our plug wires back in, throw our hoses back on, and that's it. So I hope this video helps you out. Please click like, please click subscribe. Click on my name underneath this video for all my other how-to videos. And as always, guys, enjoy.